is it just me, or do most of us have this queasy, uneasy feeling whenever we just think about the future? We contemplate what's coming our way. Merwin ties those anxious moments of uncertainty to a universality in his poem, Before the Ark. Why did he promise me that we would build ourselves an ark all by ourselves out in the back of the house on New York Avenue in Union City, New Jersey, to the singing streetcars after the story of Noah, whom nobody believed about the waters that would rise over everything? When I told my father I wanted us to build an ark of our own out there in the backyard under the kitchen, could we do that? And he told me we could. I wanted to, I said. And will we? He promised me that we would. Why did he promise me that? I wanted to start then. Nobody will believe us, I said, that we are building an ark because the rains are coming, and that was true. Nobody ever believed we would build an ark there. Nobody would believe that the waters were coming. I've read that poem more than half a dozen times, and each time I feel a growing sense of urgency about something that I cannot quite identify, but I feel is headed our way. It's enough for me emotionally to say, okay, that's it. Yeah, the waters, the rains, the waters are coming, and nobody takes it seriously. Nobody wants to build that ark. I try to imagine living next door to Noah when he's telling me about the waters about to descend as he drives another nail into the boards to build his ark. And I probably would have considered him crazy because I was enjoying my life too much in Gomorrah. And Noah may well have said to his father once upon a time, nobody will believe us that we're building an ark because the rains are coming. And his dad probably said something like, yeah, we'll build an ark someday. So here's the news from last week's New York Times, and I quote from the Times exactly. To most humans so far, climate change is still more an idea than an experience. For other species, it is an immediate reality. Many will be left behind as the climate alters, unable to move quickly enough or with nowhere to move to. Others are already adapting. An iconic example of these swift changes is the recent discovery that Atlantic and Pacific populations of bowhead whales, long kept apart by the frozen Arctic, are now overlapping in the open waters of the Northwest Passage. A team of scientists from the University of York examined the movement of 2,000 animal and plant species over the past decade. According to their study, in their exodus from increasing heat, species have moved on average 13.3 yards higher in altitude, twice the predicted rate, and 11 miles higher in latitude, 3 times faster than expected. These changes have happened most rapidly where the climate has warmed. This is how Merwin reads the news, his poem called For a Coming Extinction. Gray whale, Now that we are sending you to the end, that great God, tell him that we who follow you invented forgiveness and forgive nothing. I write as though you could understand and I could say it. One must always pretend something among the dying. When you have left the seas nodding on their stalks, empty of you, tell him that we were made on another day. The bewilderment will diminish like an echo, winding along your inner mountains unheard by us, and find its way out, leaving behind it the future, dead and ours. When you will not see again the whale calves trying the light, consider what you will find in the black garden and its court. The sea cows, the great auks, the gorillas, the irreplaceable host ranged countless, and foreordaining as stars our sacrifices. Join your words to theirs. Tell him that it is we who are important. This is Merwin watching the evening news with tremendous gravity, responding most sardonically. The poem is actually addressed to the gray whale and asks that this beast forgive us, forgive those responsible for its extinction. But alas, forgiveness is a human projection by which we try to erase what has been done historically through our own negligence. The whale has now departed, leaving behind the future, including our own. Now, the reference to Black Garden and its court offers a biting finale for the whale as it represents the whale's new home, a natural history museum where the whale is joined by other extinct creatures. The irony, yet so revealing of Merwin's philosophy, is that what he wants the whale to do is remind the great God that we are important. We were made on another day. We have a special place here on earth. We, the destroyers of the planet, have a special place. As Merwin suggests, a foreboding apocalypse, our hope for salvation is for the extinct creatures to tell God on our behalf that we matter. It is our fatal assumption that the world exists for us. Let me read the poem one more time. Gray whale. He's addressing the whale. Gray whale. Now that we are sending you to the end, that great God, tell him that we who follow you invented forgiveness and forgive nothing. I write as though you could understand, and I could say it. One must always pretend something among the dying. When you have left the seas nodding on their stalks, empty of you, tell him that we were made on another day. The bewilderment will diminish like an echo, unwinding along your inner mountains unheard by us, and find its way out, leaving behind it the future, dead and ours. When you will not see again the whale calves trying the light, consider what you will find in the Black Garden and its court. Here we are in the Museum of Natural History. What are you going to see? It's great. Well, you're going to see the sea cows, the great auks, the gorillas. The irreplaceable hosts ranged countless, and foreordaining as stars our sacrifices. Join your words to theirs. Tell him that it is we who are important. As poet laureate, W.S. Merwin had the opportunity to meet with President Obama for what he called a very nice long visit in the White House. Merwin expressed his concerns to the president by saying that he was very pessimistic about our chances. Our chances of surviving are not great. They're shrinking all the time. when asked to explain what it was like telling the president of his concerns, Merwin said, "What I have to say won't make any difference, but there's no way that I can just shrug my shoulders and not say it." I think he was saying it for all of us. In the inaugural reading last October, Merwin quoted William Blake, "The tree that moves some to tears of joy is in the eyes of others only a green thing that stands in the way." I encounter many people who feel despair after the evening news that they cannot find the words. How do you explain, how do you articulate that deep sadness, and even more so, the failure of so many to understand that the rain is coming, the waters are going to be here soon? In Merwin's poetry, I hear him articulate my own frustration about how it's all vanishing. Trees, whales, commitment, dignity, wonder, awe, vanishing right before our eyes. And when he stood in the Salt Lake Library 10 days ago, he said, "Poetry is who we are. It's finding ways to talk about where we live and how we conduct our lives." And there's hope. There is hope, as he expressed that night in his poem, "The Laughing Thrush." You see, the thrush is a bird that sings songs like all birds. But what's so unique about the thrush is that the songs that it sings are never repeated. Every time the thrush sings, it's a new song. A new song. Day and night, a new song, a new song. And therein lies